Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 7th, and the time is 6:31 p.m., and I'd like to call this meeting to order. First on our agenda is the consent agenda. First is minutes from April 23rd. Everyone have a chance to look at them? Questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from April 23rd, 2024.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is warrants 64, 66, and 67. Questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
I'll make the motion to approve warrants 64, 66, and 67.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'll send those forms over around for signature. Next is visitors' comments. Any citizen wishing to speak before the committee must sign in with the administrative assistant prior to the opening of the regular session of the school committee. The visitor will identify themselves by name and address and shall speak for no longer than 3 minutes. For anyone unable to sign in ahead of time, we ask that you clearly state your name and address so that this information can be included in the record for the meeting. Seeing no visitors, we'll move along. Cool.
Thank you. I hope you're all doing well. As we know, Teachers Appreciation Week is this week, so thank you to all of you and all of the hard work you guys do for us and for the students, the community, of course. MCAS is still going on for grades 3, 4, and 5 at East Meadow. The PVIS soccer tournament is going on for grades 4, 5, and 6. As for community involvement, kindergarten readiness night is May 23rd. It'll be a tool to inform parents of upcoming schedules and rules for their kindergartners. For upcoming events at East Meadow, very similar to last report, the school is planning on painting button benches for students to come down with a friend if they need it, and the spring fling dance is scheduled for May 17th. At the high school, also Teacher Appreciation Week, we have a lot of people. I can't speak for East Meadow. I'm sure it's very similar, but I know at the high school we have a lot of people contributing. A lot of donations have come in from parents, flowers, food, etc. Academic updates. Ms. Bearden and Mr. Ciboletta are working on a schedule for next year. AP exams are scheduled for this week. We already had one yesterday, and the rest will be completed by the end of next week. MCAS has not finished. Grade 8 is currently testing from that. Arts night is still scheduled for May 16th. Students can show off their art for parents and visitors from 5 to 8 p.m. and senior nights for upcoming sports in the next few weeks as well. The high school had the digital skills assembly last week. Sunny's for 7th and 8th and Brownstone for 9th. Both field trips are still tentatively scheduled for the end of the month. May 9th, Friday, so 2 days from now, there will be the good decision and positive actions before keep students aware and safe in their decisions. The end of the year celebrations are also being planned. Our goal is to extend an extra thanks. I don't think it's extended one last time I was here, but an extra thanks for Teacher Appreciation Week for all the parents and community involvement and donations that were sent in. Especially for Teachers Appreciation Week. The NHS did a spring cleanup for Duke Park and have also been traveling around town to help elderly people clean up their roads. For future plans and goals, the newsletter is still up. It still has chances for summer college opportunities. Ms. Jordan also detailed that she added an AP Bridge, which is basically a program to help students transition from normal classes to its AP classes. Graduation plans for seniors are underway and is Friday. Any questions?
Doesn't have any. You guys have any questions, Nicole?
Well done as always.
Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks, Cole.
Get quicker, please.
It's a lot of information in a short time.
Have a great one.
You too.
All right, next is new business, the superintendent evaluation.
So we did, so that is in the folder, kind of combined everyone's information for that final document. Overall, just some notes. It was noted that Stephen met or exceeded all goal areas. The rating was proficient, high proficient, because there certainly were exemplary ratings, particularly in the family and community engagement piece and around professional culture. Overall, with some trends and themes with comments, people were pleased with the committee was pleased with progress that was made, noting that Stephen's been very visible in the buildings and in community events. He makes a strong team with Todd in terms of the budget and the finance piece. He's always professional, impressive abilities to communicate, incredibly approachable, and has definitely moved the district in a positive path. And ultimately what I saw was that everyone was really pleased with where we're at and really, sad to see him go.
Any questions or comments?
I'm just grateful and appreciative of the feedback, the kind words, the praise. I think I've said all along that I know there are a number of superintendents out there who would die to work with like a committee like you guys that are receptive to ideas, that are willing to push where you need to push, but also provide extra support where that's needed. And I've been very appreciative of that. And I hope that despite leaving, I hope that I've left the district in a better place than when I arrived 7 short years ago. And I think with Todd and the rest of the leadership team who will be in place next year, I think the district's in a good position. I think there's always work that can be done in a school district. And I think with the leadership team, the staff, the support of the school committee, I expect we'll continue on a very positive trajectory. So thank you again for the feedback and all the kind words.
Excellent. Thank you, Jill, for compiling everything. You and I will have to tag up because I'm gonna I haven't sat in on that process though for future. A little sidebar. All right. Anything else on that? If not, moving along for superintendent search.
The search committee has met a couple of times, and we've offered interview. We've opened up for interviews to be done this week and next week, with the anticipation of making a recommendation of no more than 4 candidates to the school committee on May 21st, at the meeting on the 21st. And so I've already confirmed some interviews, so we reached out and we're hearing back. So I think at this point, we want to start to consider interview days for the school committee for their open session interviews, so we can get those posted in an appropriate time or a timely fashion.
So what we did last time is do we have both candidates on the same night with a half-hour buffer in between?
I think we did. I could be wrong, but I think we had thought we had 3, so we were going to potentially move like between 2 different meeting times, but we ended up with 2, and I do believe we kept them on the same night, and then had discussion right after.
Was it 2021?
21, yes. Yep. My recollection is similar to Jill's. 2 public interviews were held on the same evening, I believe.
Trying to figure out who's in. So if we want to, do we want to do it? It would be a separate meeting night. So we are saying by the week of the 20th. So something about the 21st. Do you want to try to have the meeting on the 21st then?
So the 21st is when we're going to make our recommendation to the school committee.
Okay, so we could plan, interviews for any time after that
Mhm.
then. So we could do, I don't know, what do you all think? Do you want to try to do it like the following Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Memorial Day? Have another meeting that night to have, to do the interviews? So we need to have more than one, because we potentially have four.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, I don't know.
So I do have the CES meeting, or potentially have the CES, somebody will have
Yeah,
CES meeting on the 29th, which is that Wednesday. Certainly, I think it makes sense to at least save the time and make sure that that's posted, even if we don't end up meeting all of it.
Mhm.
It might make sense if we could think about it to do the 28th and the 30th. And then set a time frame to allow for the interviews and then potential discussion if needed at the end of all
So
of them.
6 is tight for people to get here. I know it's kind of tight for me, but is 6:30 better?
6:30 is preferred, but I
So
can
I'm
make
thinking, could we
it.
do like 6:30? I think we just did like an hour, so we could do 6:30, 7:30, and then 8 to 9. That's kind of weird, huh?
Is June 6th, 6:30?
May 28th and
May
May 30th, I
yeah,
believe. is
yeah.
what's being proposed.
Those
Okay.
are the dates we're thinking.
May 28th and May 30th.
Correct.
So, we don't all have to be here, but we have to have a quorum. Right? Which brings me to another thing too, sort of an aside, but speaking of space, we are still technically down one seat.
Correct.
So that person's seat, Stephanie's seat, is not on the ballot. So, we should start the process now for getting an appointment, or figure out, someone told me it would be a 1-year appointment, and then someone else told me that the person would have to fill out the balance of her 3-year term. So it would be a 2-year appointment.
I can get clarification from the town clerk.
Yeah, and then if we need to do that, we need to collect interest, and then we'd have to schedule a joint meeting with the select board to do the interview process if there's multiple candidates. Sorry for the aside, but as I'm thinking about it, it would be nice to get someone in at the, close to when this term starts, as opposed to waiting.
If it's possible, it might be nice to set the times for like a 6 and a 7:15.
Okay.
Or at least maybe hold the meeting space from like 5:30 to 8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about that timing, because then say there's only 3 names brought forward, like maybe we try to schedule for like 6 and 7:15 and then 7:15
Okay.
to allow for some more flexibility with schedules.
That's all.
But I don't know how people feel about that, because I think the later time frame might be
Yeah.
hard.
I struggle with 5:30, but I can make 6 work.
Mhm.
So, I might be rolling in on the 2 wheels.
But I mean, if I think, I can definitely commit to like 5:30 and kind of making sure that things are set up, and
Okay.
that way things are like ready to go.
Is 6 okay for you?
6 is okay. We can do 6.
All right. So May 28th and 30th, 6 p.m. We'll try to get here for 5:30 if we can, to make sure everything's set up. First candidate for 6 p.m., second candidate for 7:15. And then the next day, the same thing, 6 and 7:15. And then we'll fill in
The 30th, right?
yeah, I'm sorry. I meant
Just wanted to
The
make,
next.
not the,
okay. Yeah.
so the 28th and the 30th, 5:30 doors open sort of thing. First candidate at 6, second candidate at 7:15, and then the same on the 30th.
And we can look back at those agendas too, because I know some deliberation could happen after. I don't know how that needs to be posted or anything, so we can look back at.
I think we have to post an executive session after both of them, so we can Oh, no, aren't deliberations supposed to be open? The only deliberations that are closed are, when we start discussing salary.
The negotiations.
Yeah.
Typically, it would be the job is offered contingent upon a successful negotiation.
So
I'll check with Kimberly and make sure
Yeah.
that the process is clear.
I do remember it felt weird to be deliberating openly and on camera about, candidates.
Would you, or in the past, did you deliberate between them, or did you wait till both were done that?
We had a little bit, from what I remember, I think everyone took a few minutes and wrote some notes down and then kind of reset. And the way I remember it is we did just deliberation after both candidates, and it was probably about 40 minutes or so, and then we made the call. Right? It wasn't so late when we called.
No, it was probably
I feel like it was
45
it
minutes.
was like 8:30. It was long enough for you to be able to get
I
home.
was home.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like we called you at like 8:30, 8:45 or something.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like too terribly late.
Sorry, to circle back to the unexpired term fulfillment, the mask policy would be until the next town election for someone who's appointed.
Yeah. So the problem is that the mask policy and what the town of Granby and how they appoint
What did their bylaws say?
yeah, what the position
Oh.
that's being vacated. Because Stephanie had originally thought she was only in for a 1-year term to begin with.
Okay.
And then Kathy had told her, I believe, that it was actually a 3-year term. So there's a 2-year unexpired term. So we just need clarification on it.
Okay.
You don't mind reaching?
Nope,
to
not at
Kathy?
all. Not at all.
And we've had to do this a few times, and every time we've done it, it's been a little bit different.
Yep.
So,
Yep, we'll follow up with her tomorrow and
Yeah.
I'll she's typically really good about responding, so I'll try to include her response in the update Friday.
excellent. Anything else on the search?
I just think it's a nice group and everybody's working together well and having a lot of discussion and collaboration on, ideas and like how to move forward. We recognize the fast pace that we're, headed in, but trying to be mindful, obviously, of the kind of expectations around the position. So to make sure that we're covering all bases.
Excellent. Okay, next is enrollment dashboard.
It is an unexciting enrollment dashboard for, I think it's our 4th or 5th consecutive month that we're at 712. We had one new enrollment and one student relocate out of state. So
That's exciting.
we are still at 712.
Holding strong.
Moving strong is right.
The big dip will happen right, September 30th. So the number we report on October 1st, where sentence will be.
Yeah, the first big dip you'll see is in your July meeting because of all the
Graduation.
graduates come out and not all pre-K is in yet. So you'll likely be looking at a number in like the 600s at that point, and then I think in the past we're at around like 656 in the summer or something.
That I popped into my
Yeah.
head, so I feel like it's around there for sure.
Yeah, even in June, it was 669.
Right. So
Yeah, that's right after all the graduates go out and everything, so.
So they come out and then we might have held off even on the dashboard until September once things stabilized a little bit, but I think
Populating it.
yes.
Go through it, because it didn't really have, any, there's nothing we can do about it at that point anyway, right? So.
So one new enrollment in pre-K and one 6th grader relocated out of state.
Okay. Moving right along. I'm sorry. Any questions on the dashboard? Okay. Superintendent report.
Ken Cole. Stole some of my thunder. Just want to express my thanks and gratitude to our staff. Since I've been in Granby, we have celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week as Staff Appreciation Week. Partially because I think it's easier than all the days and weeks for admin assistants and nurses and all that. Actually, Nurses Day is tomorrow. But just want to recognize our staff for all that they do. It's often a thankless job, be it as a teacher or paraprofessional, and you don't always get to see and recognize the fruits of your labor in a tangible way. And I think we're about 3 weeks away from one of those events that allows people to see it in a tangible way in graduation. And two or 3 years ago, we started having our senior class do a parade through East Meadow. So they come in their caps and gowns. So not only can our elementary school students see them, but as you all know, much of our staff has been here since those students were in elementary school. So it is one of those connections back to their elementary school teachers, allow them to reconnect in a way that maybe they haven't over the past however many years since they last had that teacher. So
It was a highlight for sure last year. Even Marcus loved it. That was like one of the highlights of their graduation week stuff. It was really cool.
It's great. And the community comes out and supports our kids. East Meadow staff attends graduation. So there's all these little things, and they're just so important. And our staff is always willing to step up. We've talked about it during the budget process about how our staff is always willing to try to do more with less when it comes to funding or resources. They don't want students to recognize that, right, we might not have had enough funding to do A, B, or C, so we're going to make sure that you have that same experience as though you had it. And that goes for all of our staff, from our paras to the lunch staff to administrative assistants to the administrative team. Just want to thank the staff because teaching is a hard job, and I know sometimes students and parents say thank you, but there are many days where you walk in and out of the building and you might not get that. Not that any teacher is looking for it or staff members looking for it. So just wanted to express my appreciation and gratitude for all of our staff. Email went out today to parents of students in first who will have students in 1st through 7th grade next year for some summer enrichment options. Mr. Taylor is leading that again through East Meadow. And I know they are planning a number of different events. So please respond back if you're interested. That will take place throughout the month of July, Monday through Thursday, beginning on July 8th. Cole also mentioned Granby Junior Senior High School Arts Night is Thursday, May 16th from 5 to 8 at the Junior Senior High School. Also want to mention that Ms. Desjardins had sent out a survey last week to East Meadow families about a potential partnership with the Collaborative in Northampton, applying for a 21st Century grant that can bring free after-school program, free summer programming. We have had some after-school options, and some of them have been cost prohibitive, and we recognize that. This could allow us a grant that could open up and offer more opportunities for students and families. So please, if you can, fill out that survey so that we can make sure that that application is meeting your needs. And I also wanted to acknowledge, I know we talked about the superintendent search. We also are running the director of pupil service search simultaneously. We have a team of teachers, community members, and staff who that posting closed yesterday, are screening candidates this week and have interviews planned for next Tuesday, May 14th, and the following Tuesday, May 21st. And I will make sure that I keep you posted both at our meetings and through the updates that I send on Fridays.
Excellent. Any questions or comments for Stephen? All right, Todd.
Megan Shepard and the special ed team filed with the state for extraordinary relief. It's part of the circuit breaker program. This is the first year since Megan's been here that we've qualified. It's a product of a significant increase in special ed spending from year over year. So we are spending quite a bit more this year than we did last year. And so we will be seeing it doesn't cover all of our costs, but it does give us some support to cover some of the gaps that we have because of just the increasing cost associated with special education. So that will be coming in this month. And it is something that we need to spend down this fiscal year. It's not money that we can carry over. So we'll be applying that. I've been in contact with the architect for the kitchen. He's anticipating having the bid documents ready within the next week or so that we can get the bid that out to bid and start breaking ground really soon to get that project up and running. And lastly, with the recommissioning project that Stephen has talked about, they were here over April vacation. They checked in a couple of times. They did look at our EV chargers. Our EV charger, we have one charger that it's working. Not that the other ones aren't capable of working. We have one that's working, and it's all seemed to be tied with the payment mechanism. Whether an account isn't set up, it's a card reader issue, not a mechanical issue, not a functionality of the system itself. So we've tested it. And the chargers do work.
So people can use them when they come in now?
Yes,
Yeah, we have one that is operational.
for free.
I mean, the amount of electricity someone's gonna get while they're
Right,
here for a parents' night or something is,
not much.
not so much.
I'll be switching over to an EV, changing where I park every day.
Someone please.
Just being awkward.
Okay.
It's Ally.
Being awkward.
Yeah, okay. Anything else?
No, that's it for my report.
CEO?
I mentioned we or someone will meet on the 29th of May. That's our next scheduled meeting.
All right.
I guess maybe I should mention the town. First set part of annual town meeting is my idea to either have budget, finance, or community relations, so we can go over the one-pager town meeting.
Okay,
I'll
so,
also try to include that in this week's school committee update. Todd has pretty close to a draft ready, so I'll try to include it Friday so people can get a glimpse of it before that meeting.
perfect. All right. Oh,
And I don't know if any other committee would.
do you need to get together for policy?
We can do that.
Okay. All right.
And then we'll keep the superintendent search.
Mhm.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything right now. Well, we'll see it when it comes out, though. If there's something else that needs to be addressed. So if there's nothing else, we'll vote to go into executive session. Vote to enter into executive session under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Part A3, to discuss strategy with regard to collective bargaining, as doing so in an open session may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the committee. The committee will not return to open session. Can you do a roll call, please?
Mr. Durham,
Yes.
Mr. Falcon,
Yes.
Ms. Peltier,
Aye.
Ms. Bartos.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.